All right, we're on the easement road. We're headed east, and it's early morning. We're looking right into the sun, so that's why these trees and everything else look dark, because we are facing into the sun. But we're coming up on track 19 at Panther Hollow. 19 is a special tract. Not only is this one of the bigger tracts, but it's one of the few tracts with direct frontage on Bryant Creek. In fact, it has a tremendous amount of frontage on Bryant Creek. And I believe it's the only tract that has a trail that goes right down to the creek. So it's an existing trail. It's probably been on the property 100 years. And it goes down to the creek. And I don't know if we'll actually go down to the creek in this video. It's been really wet out here, a ton of rain. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna drive down the trail or not, because it does go down the hill. Okay, so we're using the MapRight app on the phone here, and it shows that we're coming up on track 19, which is on the left. So that's the property on the left. It's going to be the highest at its south side, which is where we are at the easement road, and then it's going to slope down as you head northerly toward Bryant Creek. Okay, so this is the trail that goes down to the creek. It kind of goes down and turns a little bit, and does go directly to the creek. In fact, when they were kind of widening and improving this road, they had the dump truck going up and down that trail, using a little bit of the creek gravel in a few spots. So if it's dry out, you'd probably shoot up and down that trail in a truck right now, or this summer anyway. If it's not graded and maintained, you know, it eventually need to be maintained if you want to use it for years and years. But it was a pretty good trail. I mean, again, it's a four-wheel drive trail, but it goes right down to Bryant Creek, which is really cool. We'll pull down it just a little bit. Then I was just recently told that the guys did an additional trail on this property, going to a cleared site. Now I'm feeling like I want to drive down to the creek. Let's go a little further. It's definitely wet out here. Let's do it. Let's go for it. We really don't recommend that you do this when you're out here, even in a four-wheel drive. Just because if you get stuck, it is a big pain. It'd be a lot smarter to come out here with your four-wheeler, your side-by-side, and mess around on these trails when they're wet like this. Okay. We've actually come to a T in the trail. And by the way, this trail is not an easement. This is a private trail on this property on track 19. If you look at the MapRight app, we've actually got the tracing function on, so it's tracking our path, and you can see where the trail goes down. If you look at the aerial, you can see an existing trail. You can see right where we are. So we're gonna cut to the left and go down to the creek, but also there's a trail that an old trail that goes off to the right as well. Quite a bit of mature timber. I mean, we're seeing timber everywhere. These trees that are over on the side, they're just from this road being widened out, which is what they did when they were bringing the dump truck up and down this road. Some big oak trees back there. So we're getting really close to the creek. You can see on the map right actually where we are. Interesting spot right here. It looks like they're kind of a pile of rocks and a couple small trees, but that's a level spot, which basically would overlook the creek, would overlook Bryant Creek. And that would be a really cool spot for a cabin or a campsite. I mean, that would be awesome. Very close to the creek, but it sits quite a bit above the creek. So I would sure think you'd be safe even if the creek were to rise. There's Bryant Creek right there. Beautiful. So Bryant Creek begins in the Cedar Gap Conservation Area, just a couple miles to the northwest, and then flows all the way down into Norfolk Lake, which is in mostly in northern Arkansas. Bryant Creek is spring fed, so it's generally very, very, very clear. Here's a look at MapRight where we are. So we started, of course, at the easement road on the south side, went down the hill, and now we're at the creek. So that entire road that we were on is directly on this property. So as we look kind of westerly, this has hundreds of feet of frontage right here on Bryant Creek. Very, very special property. Having that trail that goes all the way down to the creek is pretty spectacular. Beautiful property. That's track 19 at Panther Hollow.